Alright, so we've got my Ruger Super Redhawk in 44 mag, and we've got my Taurus 8 3/8 inch barrel and 44 mag. We're going to test them, we're going to check for accuracy, and we're also going to check for velocity, because I found recently that I have guns with a longer barrel that don't shoot any faster than a gun with about a half the length of a barrel. So I want to know between these two which is the faster gun. So I'm going to call this a drag race. We're going to be shooting Hornady 240 grain XTP, and I've also got some Winchester 240 grain jacketed soft points, and I'm going to see if we can get some readings on the chrono. We're at 50 yards. I'm going to do a this is just going to be a practice. I've only got one round of this FTX. We're going to do one shot of that just to see if the chrono is going to pick everything up. 15:16. So that's pretty good. That picked that up. This Winchester does not shoot good out of this Ruger, I can tell you already, which is why I've got these XTPs. Honestly, I haven't found much that does shoot these well. This Ruger with the Winchester 240 grain. 1388. 1393. 1428. 1419. All right. Actually, that's not bad standard deviation, I don't think. All right. All right, now let's try it. Well, my chair just busted. That's all right. Let's try the old Taurus Raging Bull. 1392. Pretty close to what this Ruger's doing, but I will say the recoil on this is a lot easier. 1385. 1410. 1370. 1372. Cases all came out pretty easy. Now let's go see how we did. All right, so here on the left is the Ruger. As you can tell with a scope and from sandbags, it's not quite as impressive as I would want it to be. And the Taurus was shooting pretty high, but you can tell the group was probably, I'm going to say if you saw the other two shots, they were probably about the same. Might even have been tighter. Don't know, can't say that, but they're not drastically different though, are they? Because here's 4 shots all pretty close, and then right here, here's 3 all pretty close. I will also say that that Winchester ammo is not very accurate. It's probably the least accurate 44 ammo that I've got. The bullet's kind of junk too, unless you're shooting it out of a rifle. Out of a rifle, it's great. Out of a revolver here, from what I've seen in testing, the bullets don't open up, and you're pretty much shooting hard cast. But anyway, we got some XTPs coming up now, and let's see how they do. Or from what I can feel, this gun recoils less, even though the Ruger's probably heavier with the scope. This has those ports on the end, and it helps with recoil, but as I'm seeing, these ports on the end are almost like having a shorter barrel. You lose a little bit of velocity compared to a full 8 3/8 inch barrel without ports on the end. So these two are fairly close together from what I can tell as far as the speed. 1514. Quite a bit hotter than those Winchesters. 1556. 1520. 1533. Real good on the chronograph right there. And looks really consistent and quite a bit hotter than the Winchester. 1563. And recoil on the Ruger is a lot more. A lot more. 1580. 1586. 1549. Outstanding. Got a good read on all 8 of those rounds. All right, as you can see, these 3 and there are the Hornady on the Ruger. Shot these 3 super duper good. Made a fly right there. Could be me, could be the gun, I don't know. Here's the Taurus. I believe these 4 shots were there already, and I believe 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are your 4 shots with the Hornady XTP. And if you look, you know, that is pretty much about the size of a handprint right there, or size of a palm. That's not bad for open sights. That's a lot better, but that's got a scope. It does recoil more too. That right there honestly is not bad at 50 yards with someone like me who doesn't shoot open sights a lot and is normally not that good at it. For the Taurus to still shoot that good with me behind the trigger, open sights like that, that gun shoots really well. If it had a scope, it'd be a laser gun, I think. The Ruger shoots good, but this just goes to show that you need to have a load that your gun shoots well. So here we go. We got the Taurus and the Ruger, and here were our figures. The Ruger here on the left, Taurus on the right. Here were our figures, 1563 all the way up to, or excuse me, 1549 all the way up to 1586 over here. 1514 all the way up to 1556 here. And then the Winchesters, looks like the Winchesters to me are about 100 to maybe 125 feet per second slower, which means the Hornady is pretty hot. And when I touched the Hornady off out of the Ruger, I could tell that was pretty hot. So my final thoughts are, this Ruger is like half the price of this gun, and you can see that with open sights it still is a very good performer. This did shoot better with the XTPs, but it's got a scope. It was twice as expensive because I paid like $450 for this gun, and this one was right at $1,000. The fit and finish on the Ruger is great. The fit and finish on this gun is honestly actually still really good. I can't get this trigger to lighten up. I've put a spring kit in here and it still is really heavy, but this gun was getting light strikes all over the place with those Winchesters. So didn't have any problems with the Hornadys though. So what I think is the Winchesters might just have some hard primers. I may step the spring back up in this gun. It has a spring kit in it too, but I might also just leave it alone because it seems to shoot the XTPs great. It shoots them reliably, and it seems to shoot them more accurately. But as far as which one of these I would take hunting, you know, I don't know, man. This gun right here is really nice, but I know that open sights really suck in the woods because a lot of the time the deer blends in, and you really need a good scope to draw down on him and make sure you're shooting where you want to shoot and hitting him where you want to hit him. You could do it with this, but I think this would leave, with the scope, this would leave more options open for you. So there it is. These are 2 great guns. I'm really glad I've got them. As far as the barrel length, like I said, I think these barrels, this is about an inch shorter than this one, but this has got the ports, which helps with recoil. This was noticeably easier to shoot. This was very, very, very much easier to shoot than this was. This was more of a violent pop. This was more just a regular old push. It was like almost shooting a really hot 357 mag or something. The ports really helped it to not come up on me. The grips on this are huge compared to this. Now, this came with the Hogue Tamer grips with the finger grooves. I took those off, put the old school Ruger back on there so I could put these colored side plates in there. But with these grips are just downright svelte compared to these. These, look at the distance between the back of the grip and the trigger here, and then here. It's ridiculous. This is a much smaller grip. This fills out your hand much more. If you've got big hands, you might like that. My hands are pretty small, but I still like a big grip anyway. So I kind of like this. I just really like this gun. For how much I paid for it, it's great. And if I was hunting in a climbing stand, you know, and I just knew that a deer was going to come in probably within 30 yards or 20 yards, then I would for sure probably rather have this. But for 50 yards, and maybe through some brush or something, I think I'd rather have this just so I could really make sure and put it where it needs to go. So anyway, there you go, guys. These are two great guns. Between the two, you know, I don't know. This feels more premium. In a lot of ways, this feels better. Shoots easier, grip feels good. The trigger sucks, so it's, compared to this. This has a way better trigger, but I was getting light strikes on it, so I don't know. That's a toss-up. Both of these can shoot the heavy Ruger only 44 mag loads. This can shoot the 340 grain plus P plus all day long. So can this. You know, I don't know, guys. It's a toss-up. They're both really good. One thing about the Raging Bull, a lot of people don't like this on the side. I think it's actually pretty cool. They say it's too cheesy. I would agree that it is cheesy, but that's why I like it. It's kind of a goofy little gun. And it knows that, and it just leans into it. I mean, it's a big 44 mag, you know. I'm glad I got this one. And I've got a story behind how I got this one, and it's a really good one. I'll tell it some other time. But y'all have a good day out there. Y'all be safe. Try to stay cool in this heat. And we'll catch you down the road. Bye.